The United Arab Emirates has made a stunning move that has the cryptocurrency industry in a frenzy. The UAE Crown Prince has made a daring and unheard-of move that has the potential to permanently alter the landscape of digital currency worldwide. The UAE government has struck a direct agreement with Ripple Labs to buy an incredible 30 billion XRP coins that are still in escrow, in contrast to the usual market transactions we frequently witness. The Royal Decree, a formal document written in both Arabic and English and bearing the UAE government seal, is at the center of this tale. This decree lays out the UAE's ambitious national policy to embrace digital assets as key economic drivers and diversify its economy beyond traditional oil income. The purchase and burning of escrowed XRP coins, which the text refers to as obtaining escrowed assets for national energy strategy, is a key component of this plan. The gravity of this maneuver is conveyed by this phrase alone. This is a purposeful and well-coordinated attempt by a sovereign state to alter the global financial system, as opposed to speculative trading or market-driven scarcity. This action is entirely consistent with the UAE's long-term goal of becoming a global center for blockchain and cryptocurrency. The country has made significant investments in digital infrastructure, crypto-friendly laws, and innovation hubs in recent years, drawing significant participants from all over the world. In addition to increasing the value of its current holdings, the UAE is, quite honestly, deliberately creating scarcity in the XRP market by buying and burning XRP on such an unprecedented scale. Simply put, this is economic warfare. By controlling a sizable amount of the XRP supply and laying the groundwork for Petro-XRP to become the settlement currency for energy trading, this plan will greatly increase the UAE's power and influence within the global financial system. It is crucial to learn more about the characteristics of XRP escrow in order to comprehend the seriousness of this transaction. To ensure transparency and control over supply release, Ripple has kept a sizable percentage of XRP coins in escrow since its founding. Since many investors are waiting to see what happens to the locked currencies before making a complete commitment, these tokens have long been seen as an overhang on the price of XRP. An irreversible supply shock results from this abrupt purchase and burn, which totally eliminates 30 billion XRP from the whole supply in circulation. As the fundamental economic theory of supply and demand takes full effect, a significant decrease in the number of accessible tokens inevitably results in a revaluation of XRP. Thus, this transaction's timing is likewise quite remarkable. You are aware that as global markets move towards sustainability and renewable energy, pressure on the UAE's energy sector is growing. The UAE is developing a state-of-the-art digital settlement mechanism that is quicker, less expensive, and more transparent than conventional methods by incorporating XRP into its petroleum economy. The UAE will be able to exchange oil and energy resources on a blockchain-enabled platform thanks to Petro-XRP settlements, which will improve efficiency and lower trade friction internationally. The UAE is the first significant nation to completely integrate digital currency with its primary economic export, and this type of cutting-edge financial infrastructure not only helps the country's diversification efforts. The ramifications of such a large escrow burn are finally beginning to sink in for both financial analysts and cryptocurrency specialists. To be honest, a nation-state's imposed artificial scarcity is revolutionary. The market for XRP is increasingly impacted by intentional sovereign economic policy rather than just speculative tendencies. Thus, this essentially establishes a new standard for how governments might use digital assets to improve and exert control over their financial situation. Since 30 billion XRP have been burnt, the supply that remains is drastically reduced, which will probably push prices higher and, to be honest, may have repercussions for other cryptocurrencies and even conventional assets. As word gets out, it is anticipated that investor mood will drastically change. Institutional and individual investors, who now perceive the value proposition expanding exponentially, are likely to increase their demand for XRP as a result of the elimination of such a large amount of its supply. Furthermore, the market benefits from unmatched openness and confidence due to the UAE's public commitment to this policy, which is indicated by the royal proclamation and the upcoming on-chain burn transactions. Investors are anticipating a new paradigm where scarcity is artificially imposed, but yet extremely predictable, so they will be keenly monitoring blockchain explorers to confirm the burns and, modify their portfolios accordingly. You should be aware that this story also encourages more general considerations of the changing function of nation-states in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. As nations like the UAE embrace and incorporate digital assets into their national economic strategy, the conventional narrative that cryptocurrencies are decentralized and uncontrollable by the government is changing. The UAE's action can be viewed as a first step toward a new kind of digital economic sovereignty, in which blockchain is an essential part of national authority and policy rather than merely a technological advancement. This might encourage other countries with abundant natural resources or aspirations for digital innovation to follow suit, which might usher in a new era of crypto geopolitics. This progress also presents difficulties and questions. Such deals would surely be closely examined by regulatory agencies worldwide, especially considering their unparalleled scope and possible market impact. Debate will center on issues including market manipulation, transparency, and the long-term consequences of XRP's decentralization. Therefore, detractors would contend that burning coins artificially could cause market distortions or even volatility. Supporters, however, argue that this is a valid and novel approach that reflects the maturation of digital assets as instruments for economic policy and statecraft, just like how central banks control monetary policy and the supply of money. Deeper economic dynamics are also reflected in the story of the 500 billion escrow buyout and burn in the United Arab Emirates. Blockchain and cryptocurrencies will progressively converge with conventional asset classes and commodities as the global economy continues to digital. Blockchain settlements efficiency and transparency are very advantageous for the energy markets. The UAE is essentially building a digital bridge between the old economy and the new financial paradigm by linking XRP to the trade of petroenergy, which will speed up adoption and show that XRP has practical uses beyond speculation. Furthermore, this deal may have repercussions on global markets and geopolitics, to use a pun. The UAE may have more negotiating power in international trade talks and financial diplomacy if it controls a valuable digital asset like XRP. By lowering dependency on the US dollar and established financial infrastructure, Petro-XRP payments may encourage more nations and businesses to conduct business using blockchain-based currencies. In a future driven by blockchain, this might result in changes to the balance of power on a global scale and a redefining of financial partnerships. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Additionally, to be the first to know when I post new stuff, make sure you enable the alerts. I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Be careful.